morning. We made it. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. All right, my friends. This month's positivity character trait was kindness. And I saw a lot of people being kind. I saw everyone doing nice things for each other. And especially our winners up here. Let's give them one round of applause for our kindness winners. We got a lot to get through today, so we are going to get started. We're going to start with Mr. Pagliero's kindergarten. Our winner is Melody Matthew. From Mrs. Ronaldo's class, Nicholas Germaza.
No, don't touch that.
From Mrs. Naimi's class, Camila Ramos. From Mrs. Zalznak's class, Janaya Liggins. From Mrs. Smith's class, Axel Plaza Diaz. Good job, kindergarten. Moving on to first grade from Mrs. Benito's class, Heaven Moo. From Mrs. Alicia's class, Ronan Stevens. From Miss Warman's class, Jason Ray. From Mrs. Elder's class, Solomon Starling. And from Miss Hardinez's class, Liam Espinal. Good job, first grade. Before we move on, I need my audience to be quiet. Moving on to second grade from Mrs. Capero's class, Biliandro Garabito. From Mrs. Calici's class, Rosanna Say. From Miss Mush's class, Camila Pena Tejada. And from Mrs. Supa's class, Moises Santos. Mrs. Williams' class, Athena Pitch. From Mrs. Whiter's class, Aiden Soto Felix. From Mrs. Testa's class, Jacqueline Mija Banos. And from Mrs. McEwen's class, Resvia Ko. And from Miss Diaz's class, David Peralta. Good job, third grade. Moving on to fourth grade, from Miss Murphy's class, Jaylene Nolasco. From Mrs. Jackson's class, Leah Silvignoli. From Mrs. Parada's class, Natasha Acevedo. And from Mrs. Gadera, Usman Tanvir. Good job, fourth grade. Moving on to fifth grade, from Miss Schaefer's class, Pedro Mota. From Miss Tobias's class, LA. From Mrs. Keller's class, Locke Van Nugent. And from Mrs. Liberty's class, Jeremiah 2. Good job, fifth grade. I'm gonna wait again. I know you're excited. I know we're almost there. We almost made it. But you gotta quiet down, guys. Okay, moving on to sixth grade, from Mrs. Ferrucci's class, Nadar Gay. From Mrs. Kopek's class, Johnny Nugent. From Mrs. Raven's class, Tweet. From Mrs. Payne's class, Hariva Mercedes. And from Mrs. Avelo's class, Quailia Johnson. Good job, sixth grade. Okay, moving on to special area. From Mrs. Larish's music class, Jackson Davis. Art with me, Mrs. Vega, Kun Ong Thane. From Phys Ed with Mr. Crusoe, Bellamore Phillips. From Library with Mr. Vega, Owahi U. Phys Ed with Mr. Caswell, Cameron Stanford. Who's not here? Okay, from our related services, from Mrs. Brown, Annabelle Schultz. From Mrs. Arcuri, Logan Pitch Mees. From Mrs. Banzer, Siha Maridi. From Mrs. Pulo, Mohammed Al-Shahan. Who's not here? From Mrs. Lloyd, Wee Ni Ong. From Mrs. Mills, Winifred Nunez. And last but not least, from Ms. Berg, Idiris Osman. All right, let's have one more round of applause for our Dojo, our Positivity Project members. And you guys can join your class.
Okay, boys and girls, before we move on to the next portion of the assembly, we need a 0. I know you want to get to that basket raffle, so we need to be quiet in order to make it through so we can get to the basket raffle. I can wait all day. Now that is the audience I'm used to here at Columbus. Remember, you guys, we're trying to be respectful, be kind. You need to be respectful and kind to the people that are up on the stage too. And if you're talking, it might not seem like a lot because you're talking to your neighbor and you're whispering, but once about 500 of you are doing that, it starts to get very loud and it's hard for people to hear. So we need to be respectful of everybody who's up here so that we can hear everybody's names being called. And I know you're going to want to hear when those raffles are called. So let's make sure we are being quiet and paying attention to the speaker in front of us.
Okay, guys, so we're going to talk about January, which I know right now seems like a long ways away, but we're going to talk about our January character trait for our positivity project, which is perseverance. Can you guys say that word? I know it's a big word. Say perseverance. Good job. So what is perseverance? I'm going to read some of the quotes from our positivity project. So you complete what you start despite any obstacles, and you never give up. Perseverance is a uniquely human characteristic that identifies an individual's ability to spend long periods of time devoted to a single goal or set of goals. And so when we do meditation in January, we're going to talk about our goals and our dreams. Perseverance is also connected with bravery, which we talked about a couple months ago. Persisting in a task and failing can result in depleted self-esteem. Therefore, it takes bravery to persist in a task despite the fear of failure. Hard work pays off, and I am not so worried about how much time this takes. I am going to finish because it's important to me. So here are some words about perseverance. Should we say them together? I'll say it and then you say it. Persistent. Hardworking. Strong. Devoted. Committed. Gritty. Industrious. Those are good words. All right, we're going to watch a couple videos. Russo. Russo. I got it.
Fretch is far from your typical 12-year-old. For starters, his name means the helper. It makes sense. He's a motivational speaker, founder of his own company, and an amazing athlete.
The day Ezra was born was special for his parents.
I just saw his face and he was the most beautiful child.
Then came words no parent wants to hear.
And I didn't even realize that he was missing fingers and that there was a difference in his leg at that very moment until the doctor said something. Within 24 hours, they said, you're going to need to amputate his leg, and he's going to have surgery on his hand.
Now, that's a tough word to hear, right?
Yeah.
Amputation.
I was born with one finger on my left hand and a lower left leg that was curved in. And I had surgery when I was 2.5 years old, and the doctors removed the curved part of my left leg, and they transplanted the big toe and put it onto my left hand.
It ended up being a 15-hour procedure because it wasn't just the amputation.
You're essentially connecting, nerves and veins and arteries under a microscope, right? And they're thinner than a hair.
Proud of you. I love you.
Ezra was born with congenital limb difference. Life was going to be a challenge to say the least, but it's a challenge he meets head on every day.
Sports is everything to me.
Basketball and track and field are a few of the sports this 7th grader excels in, but it doesn't come easy.
How does your day start off? What do you have to do to get ready for your day that maybe other kids, that are 12 years old don't have to do?
Well, first of all, I have to put on a leg. So I'll probably get out of my bed, just pop my leg on, and most kids don't really think that, like when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm standing on one leg. Many people don't realize the little struggles that just happen in everyday life when you have a disability.
When he isn't inspiring people on the field, this tween is inspiring them off it as a motivational speaker.
When they say you can't, just smile, because you know you can.
It's a charisma way beyond his years, and it led him to his biggest speech ever, a locker room chat with the NBA champion Golden State Warriors.
I was born with one finger on my left hand and a lower left leg that was curved in.
It was so amazing. We got to the practice facility, and usually I don't really get nervous before speeches, but oh man, I was really nervous before that one.
A lot of people worry about what they don't have. Not Ezra. He's only focused on what he has.
We're all different and we all have challenges. And what makes us stronger is getting around those challenges, pushing through the challenges, and hopping over the obstacles.
Last month, Ezra and his family held their annual 4-day Angel City Games at UCLA for disabled athletes. It's an amazing event that gives kids with disabilities a chance to participate in track and field and other sporting events.
So to go along with perseverance, our January meditation is going to be about our goals and our dreams and setting goals for ourselves and reaching those goals in the new year. And our positive affirmation is, in tough times, I persevere. So let's say it. In tough times, I persevere. Give yourselves a round of applause.